Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to be unboxing these very cheap cooler from ID Cooling. It's the SE214XD Argb white. That's the actual specific name for this. So yeah, let me be as quick as possible. So what do we have? It's only $17.99 as of so July 29th, 2024. And yeah, so let me show you what it comes with. Installation guide. This is a 120 millimeter cooler, and it's 25 millimeters wide, like the thickness. So yeah, pretty cool. It has let me take it out right away. Okay, it goes from 700 RPMs to 1800, and the sound, it's only 35.2 decibels, so that's like half of the volume of a normal conversation, basically, so not as loud. So it has a 3-pin, addressable RGB. I mean, it's a 4-pin connector, and a 4-pin PWM fan connector. It's a 12-volt fan. And it uses, I think, 2.4 watts or something like that. Put it on the side. It looks pretty nice. Heat sink. Yeah. I think all the fins, they don't look completely straight. They're almost perfect, and it feels like fine. Not the best quality, not the cheapest, to be honest, even though it was just like $18, but it feels pretty good. Yeah, make sure you remove these before installing. I'm gonna make another clip with installation process. I'll put it all together, and here you have the tools that came with it. So it's supposed to have I mean, it's rated at a 180 watts of that's the actual TDP for it. And it supports LGA 1700, 1200, 1151, 1150, 1155, 2066, and also AM4 and AM5. I'm gonna be pairing these with my computer. It's actually running now with the RYZEN 5600 GT. It's a 65 watt TDP with integrated graphics power CPU. So let's see how it performs. I'm gonna make a comparison in between the regular cooler, which is the WRAITH Stealth that came with this, versus this cooler, and see how big is the difference whenever I'm playing, like gaming or doing benchmarks and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is these are like the mounting parts for the for Intel. Yeah, there's 2 sets here. It all depends on which one you have. I'm gonna be using this. This is the one for AMD, and this back plate. Let me show you. This back plate is actually for Intel, like the LGA stuff. You need to mount this under your motherboard. For AMD, it actually comes pre-installed, so I don't have to go crazy about it. I'm gonna be swapping the one that came in this. The RYZEN 5600 GT. So it came with thermal paste, a little bit of it. I'll probably just use it. And yeah, it looks pretty nice for AMD, to be honest. 4 screws. It looks like they're 10 millimeters. I'll say like 10 millimeters in height. I'll have to check that. But anyways, I know this is the one for AMD. And these mounting brackets, you can use it on both AMD and Intel. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make another clip, put it together probably, showing the installation process. And these, yeah, 4 of them. So actually the clip, like fan clips to attach the fan to the actual cooler here. So the way you do this, you actually have to mount this first heatsink, I'll put this side towards the memory RAM and this towards the exhaust, like the back of the case. So it's gonna be sitting like that. The front of my case is here, the rear of my case is that way. This side is slightly longer. Here, I don't know if you can see. Let me see, this side is slightly longer, this section here and this. So this is where the fan is supposed to go. Yeah. Yeah, that's what. Oh, you know what? Let me make the demonstration here. It's gonna be a little easier. So once you have this mounted to the motherboard, you're gonna put the fan actually wherever you feel like, but it's supposed to. I mean, if you want it to look nice and like flush here, you can do that, and it's gonna be cooling like fine. The fan is actually bigger than the heatsink fins. So yeah, let me see. Let me make this camera focus a little more. Yeah, so right there, like that, just pull this and it will click. I'm saying you have to do it once it's mounted because you need to access these from the top, and if the fan is mounted here, there's no way you can access that. Make sure you remove this. And yeah, I'm gonna remove it now. So yeah, it's copper, this section down here. And four, oops, almost messed up the camera, whatever. It's 4 heat pipes. So cooling should be pretty good. I think at least 30 degrees, 20 to 30 degrees, you know, like difference. It's gonna be something like that. So yeah, let's see how it looks. Okay guys, so let's install this cooler to the Ryzen 5 5600 GT. It's a 65 watt TDP processor, and but this cooler is supposed to handle like 180 watts, like a 180 watt TDP. Ryzen 5, it's only 65 watts. That's a TDP. So let's see. So I'm gonna cover the AMD installation. I'm gonna tell you how to do the Intel installation. But yeah, AMD. So if you have the motherboard installed already, this will be like the majority of cases, I believe. Like in my case, I'm actually upgrading this cooler. That's the WRAITH Stealth. You know, the one that came stock with it. It came with thermal paste pre-applied. So I just removed it. It's only 4 screws. For AMD, is this motherboard AM4 it came with the back plate that has those 4 mounting points. I'm gonna flip this case just to show you. Like this case actually gives me access to the rear of the motherboard, to the back of it, and yeah, I know in some cases if you don't have access to that and that falls down once you remove the stock cooler, which it will. I actually put some little bit of tape just to hold it in place now while I do this. It's gonna make it a little harder to install. Now, if you haven't installed your motherboard yet and you are about to install it, you know, like you buy it, you don't want to use the stock cooler at all, you already bought your nice cooler, so just remove, you know, you're gonna have the motherboard on your hands, I bet, and so just remove there's gonna be like 2 plastic pieces that will go across. Just remove those, hold the back plate, and then proceed. You know, it all depends on what kind of cooler you get, but if you're watching this, it's obviously because you're going for the ID cooling. Let me show you step by step. So I put a little bit of tape behind this to hold it. Let me just flip this real quick to show you. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. So this case, I'm gonna scratch my table, and then, yeah, I need a better camera setup. At least like what I used to mount my camera. So I put this little bit of tape just for now. I'm gonna remove it once I install it. I just don't want it to fall because there's a gap here and I won't be able to put the screws in. So anyways, let me flip it again. Hopefully you can remove the back cover of your case, and you know, if it's installed, and then just put some tape or something while you do this. Yeah, let me flip it again. Sorry if the camera moves. It's just I don't want to scratch my table. Yeah, I'm hitting everything here because I wanted to get a nice camera angle to make sure you guys can see everything well. So 1 second, let me make it. I have to learn a lot how to edit and cut parts. So anyways, let's begin. So first thing, there's four red and red risers or spacers, if you want to call them. You place them on top of those mounting points, and then these brackets that came with the cooler, as I was showing everyone before, these brackets, that little mouth, like the little opening, that angle goes inside toward, like pointing at the CPU, not outwards like that. Yeah, so just like this. So I'm gonna pause this video just so you don't have to watch me put each screw at a time. So yeah, it's gonna be just like that. So put the 4 screws in. I wish I could do better editing. So let me at least put one of them. Hopefully. Have the camera on the way. This is really bad. This is really, really bad. Here's this as a guide. Once I put one of them, that's it. I don't have to worry much about the tape. Yeah, so I'm gonna pause it now. So yeah, just do that with the 4 of them. 4 screws. Once you do that, I'll show you what's the next step. Okay guys, so once you finish tightening these screws on the AM4, it was the outer part of the, the outer holes, not these. Thermal paste, very important to not forget. So there's a little packet, pack that comes with it, but I'm going to be using these thermal paste I have. So let me pause it for a second. Yeah. Okay, so once the thermal paste is applied, I didn't do the best job, but I tried spreading it all over the CPU. Yeah, you just have to put this, so it has 2 holes and spring-loaded screws right here. So they will go on that part of the bracket. There's 2 screws basically sticking up. And like I said before, the longer part here, you can tell on the camera, this side, this is slightly longer. It goes towards the RAM because the cooler is the fan is gonna be here on this side and pushing air that way. There's gonna be an exhaust fan as well, and obviously for the space, to leave some space for the RAM. So yeah, let me get this on. Phillips screwdriver. This is a pretty big screwdriver, and it goes on it perfectly. A few turns. Okay, that's on. Then I'll go on this side. See if it's going anywhere. Oh yeah, it is. So yeah, a couple of turns on each side, just so go from one side to another to apply even pressure. If you want, you can count the turns. I wasn't, but I'm doing it now. Okay, that was the end. Almost 10 turns. Let me see. Oh, I was there basically. It's tight. And wow, I need to start editing a lot. I'm making these videos way too long, but I know they can be very informative. So like I said, so like I was saying, these cables are pretty long, to be honest. They're like at least 18 inches long. And yeah, that's like way too much. It's better than not having long enough cables, but come on. And yeah, so set your fan the way you want to mount it. In my case, just like that. These cables will go towards the RAM and the bottom part of it. And yeah, just go like that by the fins. Make sure you put it, you know, at the position you want it to stay, and the height. And just let me see, that's the height I need. Yeah, so just pull this until it clicks. That little tab, the metal clip. There's 2 sets of them, so yeah. Just be careful with the fins. You don't want to mess them up. Yeah, I say be careful with the fins, and then I'm destroying mine. This is so hard. Yeah, these fins are very light. Yeah, I didn't hear a click, but I saw it clicking. It wasn't too loud. So yeah, let's see how it looks. I'm just going to connect the ARGB controller pin plug, and then the PWM for the fan. This is for the RGB. I'm gonna do it around the back of my motherboard. So in your you know, your case may be different. You could have another 3-pin ARGB controller, or like on the front of your motherboard, or you could have it like with one of those extra adapters, you know, like a splitter basically. So let's see how it looks now. Okay guys, so this is how it looks. Once it's mounted, and my case has this dedicated button to switch the RGB. I know the camera is not recording or capturing the colors. That's, you know, the best way, but pretty nice, to be honest. And I can control it with software from ASRock from my motherboard, and then it will be synced with the RAM and that section of the motherboard right there. That too, the chipset cooler. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. It's pretty quiet. The one making a little bit of noise is you know, I'm using this very old PSU. It's a 750 watt PSU. So yeah, but this fan is super quiet. The camera is like right on it. Can barely hear it, and the mic too. But that's the one making noise down there. Not even those or the ones on top. And this was the cable management back here. So I used the ARGB hub down here. That's the cable that came with the ID cooling cooler, and I put the cables through here, back here, 2 of them. The PWM, I mean, yeah, part of the PWM, the ARGB. I'm gonna close my case now. Look at the cabling. Try to hide it because those cables are like pretty long. Yeah, so let's see how temps look. And to be honest, I took a look before recording this, and yeah, I saw like a big difference in temps. One more thing is the colors. Very good. It's supposed to look white, and it looks white. The ones that came with my case, they look like usually that purplish rain. I can visibly like in person like kind of see it. not here. This is pure white. So color accuracy, it's on point. Look at the ones on top, purplish. I mean, they were free, included with the case, but this is something else. It's pretty nice, and it was only $17.99. Amazing. Okay guys, so these were the final results from the Ryzen 5 5600 GT, the 65 watt iGPU with these two different coolers, the ID Cooling SE214XT Argb and the stock WRAITH Stealth cooler from AMD. So here's the type of coolers, just so you can tell which one is which basically. This is the type of test I did. So benchmark stress test. So I use CPU Z, and then I hit stress, and this is what I got as a result. The ID Cooling, the max after like 2 or 3 minutes, it was 84.3 Celsius. The WRAITH Stealth went up to 95.4. That's actually thermal throttling after over 95 degrees. That's thermal throttle. So I know it could have continued all the way up there, but it stopped there just because of it limits itself. And yeah, so this was just like after 30 seconds, and this was after like 3 minutes, and that's when it got to this temp. Otherwise it was it was a bit cooler. So gaming average temp, I tried Fortnite, and this is what I got. With ID Cooling, the average temp was 56 degrees, and the WRAITH Stealth cooler, the average was 74. So that's about 20 Celsius. That's like a decent difference, to be honest. And then the gaming max temp recorded was actually 70 degrees for the ID Cooling and 84.5 for the WRAITH Stealth. This was actually while loading the maps and everything on Fortnite. I know in different games it could be a little higher or maybe lower depending on how much CPU usage there is. Also the room temp has a lot to do with it. So my bedroom temp was like 67 Fahrenheit. So basically a little cool. So here, gaming max temps, gaming average temps, right down here, and the benchmark stress test temps. So you can pause it, look at all of these, and hopefully this video was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Any questions, just leave a comment.